That's the f***ed up thing, right? Like, it seems like Republicans, they actually try and do the horrifying things they say. They're like, yeah, we're going to target immigrants and then we're going to deport them to concentration camps. You're like, no, you're not. Oh, he's doing that. And then Democrats like, we're going to see how much we can get away with not doing. We're going to make a lot of promises, but then, oh, there's so much procedure. There's so much bureaucracy. We just don't have the votes, you know? Well, we have the votes, but we don't have the supermajority. Oh, but we have that, but now there's the parliamentarian. Oh, gosh.
Donald Trump's bombastic pick to run the FBI.
The FBI's footprint has gotten so freaking big.
Already has some controversial ideas for overhauling the Bureau.
I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state. And I'd take the 7,000 employees that work in that building and send them across America to chase down criminals. Go be cops. You're cops. Go be cops.
In choosing Kash Patel to...
So I guess that's today, or is that tomorrow? Because that would either be today or tomorrow. But yeah, so he's going to close down the Hoover building, turn it into a museum of the deep state. I mean, really, if you ever wanted to know what would Alex Jones be like if he was the director of the FBI, you're going to find out, because that's what you're getting. Yeah, we're talking complete Alex Jones tier. He's someone who has been known for selling supplements. Here we are. mRNA detox, reverse the vax, and get healthy with Warrior Essentials. And as people pointed out, this does look like the Wario symbol a little bit. This is a product he was promoting called the Spike Protein Recovery System. You were immune to the propaganda, but are you immune to the shedders? I don't know what that means. I'm terminally online. I have internet brain rot, you know, stage 4, and I don't know what's in it. What's inside this pill that you want people to swallow, to put into their bodies and change their fucking way they process organ or DNA? It's gonna work on the molecular level. Like, oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I should really be looking into it, but I'd rather not promote them. So that's what's going down.
Lead the law enforcement agency, Trump picked a loyal firebrand who has vowed to take on the so-called deep state, which Patel claims is made of journalists, big tech, elected leaders, and senior government bureaucrats.
And our biggest enemy against that truth is the deep state. And we are on a mission to annihilate the deep state.
He's also shown a taste for retribution, including over false claims of 2020 election fraud.
We will go out and find the conspirators, not just in government, but in the media. Yes, we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens, who helped Joe Biden rig presidential elections. We're going to come after you. Whether it's criminally or civilly, we'll figure that out.
He's been a public defender and a federal prosecutor in the Justice Department's National Security Division. During the first Trump term, he worked on the National Security Council and then as chief of staff to the acting defense secretary.
We're blessed by God to have Donald Trump be our juggernaut of justice, to be our leader, to be our...
Okay, chat, correct me if I'm missing this, but I'm on the website now, and I do not see any listed ingredients. I see what it's supposed to do, and I see that it has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, so it's not meant for human consumption. But all it says is the only protocol available anywhere that leverages the power of the human body to remove toxins, including spike proteins, repair circulatory damage, and restore epigenetic health. You probably want your spike proteins. No covidium supports autophagy, anti-aging, spike detoxification, mitochondrial health. How? How is it working on a mitochondrial level? DNA stability. That's vague. Methylation process, normal inflammatory response, modulated oxidative stress, brain and cognitive health as we age, but all capitalized, but then that's not okay. Hair growth, that's added side effect that's actually kind of neat, but where? It's not specified, you know? Wouldn't want to suddenly just get like hairy knees out of nowhere. Epigenetic health, overall cellular health, healthy cholesterol levels, cardiovascular and heart health. It supports healthy circulation, muscle recovery, protein digestion, dissolving fibrin in blood clots. Wow. But no description of what's actually inside. I hope it's at least on the others, because I'm clicking on this. There's no picture of the back of the bottles. I hope for anyone who's bought these, on the very back it says at least what it is. And I mean, I'm also hoping and praying that it's just something benign that doesn't actually do any of this shit, but at least it's not poisoning people. Like if it's just like, you know, maybe turmeric and calcium or something, or soy. Like if it was just soy, then okay. I mean, like it's snake oil, but it's snake oil that won't actually harm people. If it's like, you know, low grade mercury, like, a lot of people are gonna get sick on this shit.
Our continued warrior in the arena.
Patel defended Trump against the charges he faced in the now dropped classified documents case.
They can take what they want. You can't be prosecuted for possessing classified documents.
And while he's claimed violent offenders from January 6th deserve punishment, he's defended others charged in relation to the riot at the U.S. Capitol.
Their lives have been destroyed by the Justice Department because of a political vendetta they want to enact through the justice system to take out Trump.
As for his other endeavors, Patel has a line of apparel as brash as its creator, with items featuring his signature KA$H. He also penned a children's trilogy, apparently dedicated to...
So I've read some of this on stream. It's ridiculous. It's like, it's one of those like books where you're like, oh, this was written by AI, and it's not written by AI. It was written by him. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe he had some assistance with ChatGPT when he was trying to think of like other characters. It's like, okay, so we have a king, we have an evil queen, we have a duke. What can I be? I guess I want to be a wizard. We can have a jester. Okay, that's good. Maybe a knight in there. But he saw fit not to make one, not two, but three. There's a trilogy in the Plot Against the King series. The second one is called The Plot Against the King 2, 2,000 Mules. And then number 3, and I'm assuming he came up with this all on his own, The Return of the King. So, neat.
To Trump, the quote, king of the series. The most recent installment describes the tale of the quote, MAGA king and his journey to quote, take down Kamala and reclaim his...
I forgot about that. He keeps calling her Kamala.
Throne. Patel's book for adults, Government Gangsters, now his rallying cry for reform.
I am going to go on a government gangsters manhunt in Washington, D.C. for our great president. Who's coming with me?
Now, Kash Patel is a controversial pick for this job for a lot of reasons. One, I mean, we already have an FBI director, Christopher Wray, who serves a 10-year term that's designed to
you found the ingredients.
Equation.
Thank
so
you.
Trump is either going to have to fire Wray or Wray is going to have to quit. But Patel is also controversial even among Trump's inner circle. A lot of people kind of see him as a sort of relentless self-promoter. He really pushed himself for a role in this administration, you know, but ultimately he was successful.
It's very small print, but I see chromium, magnesium, selenium, vitamin D, and zinc. I can't read the essential biogenic polyamides. And then polyglythum sapestite, 50%. I can't read that. But then things like green tea extract. Okay, so as well as grape skin and vinegar and stuff like that, grapeseed extract as well. So again, yeah, mostly harmless things being unbelievably overpriced. But like, you know, if there's enough green tea extract in there, it'll probably give you a bit of a caffeine boost, and that's enough to give you the placebo effect that you're looking for, to be like, oh God, I can feel my spike proteins healing. It's recoding my DNA. But yeah, that's right. This is just right up of Alex Jones's territory, where he's basically just reselling people stuff that you can buy at any health food store at, you know, rock bottom prices compared to their proprietary blend, where they just throw it all into like a little capsule and then they're selling it to you for like 50 times the cost.
Successful. Donald Trump has been very clear that he wants people who are fiercely loyal.
It's also got probiotics. That's unusual. What, to help with gut health, I guess? Is that's they're just throwing everything at the wall on this stuff.
To him, especially in this roles at the FBI, the Justice Department, and in intelligence.
But yes, long story short, it does nothing.
All right, Sarah Murray, thanks so much. Let's talk about this with Josh Campbell, who's a CNN security analyst, and Elena Plott-Calabro, a staff writer for The Atlantic, who has covered Kash Patel extensively. So, Josh, I want to play some sound from North Carolina Governor-elect Josh Stein talking about Kash Patel. Take a listen.
Well, I want somebody who respects the rule of law, and his nomination for the FBI does not give me confidence that that's a top priority.
So we hear a lot of Democrats and even some Republicans echoing that skepticism. What do you think the Patel appointment would mean for the FBI? Could he impact how the Bureau presses investigations?
Yeah, the director has great oversight and power as it relates to investigations. And
Oh,
first,
good.
I've been talking with sources inside the FBI, many different people, and a lot of them wanted to dispel this myth that some other networks have apparently been reporting, and that's, FBI agents are scared or afraid. I mean, these are dogged people that put their heads down, they do their work. But what I am hearing is there is grave concern in two respects. The first that you just mentioned there, potential impact on investigations. In this case, someone like Patel, who, as Sarah reported, an extreme Trump political loyalist. Would he try to get FBI employees to investigate Trump's opponents? Would he try to stop any investigations that begin within Trump's orbit? That is a major question. And then second, it comes down to independence. Historically, there has been this at distance that a White House would keep the FBI because this is a powerful law enforcement agency. People may not realize that the FBI doesn't brief the White House on every investigation that it conducts. And that's because a lot of times they could be investigating political opponents or political loyalists of a president. The big question here is, what will that independence look like? How would that be impacted? And then finally, I just wanted to read one line from this great insightful piece that Elena wrote recently on Patel. What she said in talking to sources around the Trump world is that people called Patel dangerous, not because he would come in on day one as FBI director or CI director with a plan, but because he appeared to have no plan at all. His priorities today always subject to a mercurial president's wishes tomorrow. That's the big question. How far would he go for Trump?
And Elena, as Sarah noted in her piece, Kash Patel wrote a book called Government Gangsters, and it's bouncing around the internet today. Tim Miller from Bulwark among the people who noticed that in that book, it lists individuals that Patel considers the quote-unquote deep state. People on the deep state list include President Biden, former Attorney General for Donald Trump, Bill Barr, Attorney General Garland, Robert Mueller, what Patel calls the, quote, entire...
Yeah, we were just talking about his children's books.
...fake news press corps, unquote. What is he going to do with this list, or is this just bombast?
I don't think that we are in a position to call anything to do with Kash Patel at this point just bombast, especially if he does end up getting this directorship. And if he doesn't, Jake, I very much suspect that Trump will find a way to install him, whether in an acting capacity.
There hasn't been like a single Trump elected official who hasn't been trying to enact the horrifying things that they've said, right? Like there's an actual Project 2025 Observer, aka tracker site you can go to. Shows you how much they've already accomplished by agency, gutting the U.S. aid agency that's been completed, Department of State, White House, personnel, Department of Justice. Of their total, tasks to complete, they're at 35% already, and it's been a fucking month. So they're doing the things they said they're going to do.
Or in a role that does not require.
That's the fucked up thing, right? Like, it seems like Republicans, they actually try and do the horrifying things they say. They're like, yeah, we're going to target immigrants and then we're going to deport them to concentration camps. And you're like, no, you're not. Oh shit, he's doing that. And then Democrats like, we're going to see how much we can get away with not doing. We're going to make a lot of promises, but then, there's so much procedure. There's so much bureaucracy. We just don't have the votes, Well, we have the votes, but we don't have the supermajority. Well, we have that, but now there's the parliamentarian. We need to worry about this, okay? The parliamentarian is very important. What the fuck's the parliamentarian? Does anyone remember? Does anyone remember the parliamentarian? Well, we want to, but we don't have every Democrat on board. It seems like there's always, one or two. Kirsten Sinema, Joe Manchin. Oh, they just don't want to play ball. Oh, they're the problem, really. But otherwise, all of us were on board with something that would have really helped the American people. Say, like, I don't know, raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. But there's Kirsten Sinema, and she's voting it down. Great, good stuff. Yeah, rotating villain of the week.
Require Senate confirmation at the top of the American intelligence apparatus. And the reason I say that is because while the public doesn't quite know who Kash Patel is, the fact was that in Trump's first term, he came dangerously close to almost this very role. Trump really wanted to promote him at one point to deputy
Both sides it? No, I'm not trying to both sides it. I'm trying to say that like all of those corporate Democrats or the controlled opposition members that everyone keeps talking about, y'all should be primarying them and getting them the fuck out of Dodge. Let the old guard like die out. They are feckless and useless. That Simpsons meme is undefeated. Honestly, it's so old at this point. It's got to be like over 20 years old, but it still continues to reign true. The Republicans were pure evil, and the Democrats, we hate ourselves. We can't govern. Like, okay, that sucks, but there are people legitimately and for a while now who've been trying to come forward, especially progressive politicians, and be like, no, this does not meet the moment. We need dramatic and rapid change. We need to honestly start changing this hyper-capitalist nightmare that is America, and start doing stuff that actually benefits people rather than just like a handful of rich oligarchs who are now going to try and carve out the entire country. That's got to be part of it as well, because otherwise it's like, I know everyone's hoping, well, in the midterms everything will swing a little bit backwards and then the Democrats will regain power, even though they're like enormously unpopular right now. And then, you know, in a couple of years, the presidential election will swing around, and hopefully Trump wants to, you know, allow that to happen, even though they're talking right now about, you know, having Trump become the new Caesar and potentially being the president of perpetuity, that kind of stuff. Well, yeah, you're going to need fighters. You're going to need people who aren't just going to stand there and be like, yeah, people are aroused. They're aroused now.
The FBI director. Then there was deputy CIA director. I mean, various senior positions that were it not for people like CIA Director Gina Haspel or Attorney General Bill Barr, who the latter, of course, said over my dead body to the idea of Kash being promoted to deputy FBI director. Without people like that in this administration, and Trump has made clear he has no desire to install the quote unquote guardrails that populated his first administration, I don't think there's any doubt that whether it's as FBI director or some other highly powerful position, Kash Patel, we will see him try to use whatever means he has to launch, or at least try to launch, investigations into many of the people that are listed in that appendix of his book.
And you wrote over the summer, quote, should he return to the White House, there will be no Millies.
When you say book, are you referring to his children's book? Which one of the three? Are we talking about The Return of the King, King Trump 3? Or are you talking about number 2, 2,000 Mules? Got to check out that list.
Bars to restrain him as he seeks revenge against his political enemies. You're talking about Donald Trump there. Instead, there will be Patels, those whose true faith and allegiance belong not to a nation, but to one man. So let's just assume for the sake of argument that he does a recess appointment of Kash Patel, or somehow he gets through the Senate. I mean, Republicans control 53 seats in the Senate right now, so who knows? Would there be any check?
It turns out that it did not matter. That happened. It went through. And now, just as a small commercial break, here's Elon Musk high out of his fucking rocker.
If you got to protect the First Amendment, it's not much more important than that.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of criticism, and people said, well, that proves he's a huge idiot from a, you know, like, look, you know, he voted for whatever, $44 billion, and now it's worth like 8 cents. And
it's not worth 8 cents.
But you know, there's the, but the, yeah, it was essentially to you know, buy freedom of expression.
Honestly, if you've ever done shrooms and then had to have a conversation with your parents, you kind of know what you're looking at right now, where someone is like, he's not known for wearing sunglasses. That's what I'm saying, is that when you see someone who's not known for wearing sunglasses suddenly have to go in front of a camera and be like, oh shit, yeah, just hold on a sec, I gotta make sure that oh yeah, we're good now. Oh, this is nice. Okay, yeah, what do you want to ask me about? Yeah, about your acquisitions of Twitter, sir. Yeah, Twitter, bought that for $4 billion and sell it for $2. You know, so freedom of speech. That was about freedom of speech. And in your head, you know, I'm sure the brain is telling you, nailed it. Fucking nailed it. Oh, I crushed that answer. And then you have to watch the footage back later and be like, Jesus Christ, I'm so gacked out on K. I have absolutely no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
Got to protect the First Amendment. It's not much more important than that.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of criticism, and people said, well, that proves he's a huge idiot from a, you know, like, look, you know, he bought it for whatever, $44 billion, and now it's worth like 8 cents. And
It's not worth 8 cents.
but you know, there's the, but the, yeah, it was essentially to you know, buy freedom.
And then right there, that's the buddy trying to bail you out. Like that's the buddy sitting beside you, and if you're like, yeah, no, I'm fine. She's like, hey, he's fine. Tone the volume down by like 10 notches. You might not realize this right now. You're yelling.
Of expression.
It would be way funnier too if he wasn't destroying the planet. Like if he wasn't trying to push far right authoritarian regimes globally. That would make this a lot funnier. I also saw online that he unfollowed Ashley St. Clair. So family values. There's your family man. Yeah. Oh yeah. In addition to that, Grimes is actually having to respond or like, you know, post on his own social media app about, you know, taking better care of the kids, which is both profoundly sad and weird as fuck. Not the only person. Ashley St. Clair was having to do the same thing, being like, you know, Elon, I was hoping to not have to do it publicly, but we are trying to find out what role you're going to be playing in our child's lives and stuff. And she's since deleted all those tweets, so I guess maybe something happened behind the scenes. But Grimes posted, please respond about our child's medical crisis. I'm sorry to do this publicly, but it's no longer acceptable to ignore the situation. This requires immediate attention. If you don't want to talk to me, can you please designate or hire someone who can so that we can move forward and solve this? This is urgent, Elon. Family values, am I right? Just good old family man. Obsessed with impregnation, but not with actually taking care of any fucking children. So there's that.
Don't let this happen to you. Go to serfscoffee.com to order the only end-to-end owned indigenous coffee company that delivers blood-free, conflict-free, and cruelty-free beans right to your door. 0% of people who drink serfscoffee.com have exploded spontaneously. By ordering right now, you get 10% off plus free shipping, and it's the best way to enjoy delicious coffee while not exploding. That's serfscoffee.com, serfscoffee.com.
Hey, if you'd like to unlock secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/The Serfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Puppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Travis McClinton, Trincel, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.